I'm going to talk about the relationship between the isoquant and the isocost line. We already know that an isoquant line is a curve that shows the different inputs, that is capital and labor, that a company can use to produce the same level of output. Like for example, this curve here, the first one, shows an isoquant. The inputs here are labor and capital. And an isocost line is a line that shows the different amounts of capital and labor that a firm is able to purchase within a given amount of expenditure or income. For example, this is a given amount, 8,000. So in this way, if a firm tries to purchase 2,000 units of labor, then it can only purchase the remaining 6,000 units of capital, 3,000 units of capital, 5,000 units of labor. You can see that the combinations are adding up to the maximum or the given amount of expenditure. Now, we want to see how we can combine these to identify the maximum profit a firm can make. In this example here, you can see that there is an isocost and an isoquant together. For example, in this isocost line, the expenditure is 2,000. Yes, and the output level here is 5,000. So you can see that if a firm operates here, where it is a tangent to the isoquant, it means here, this is the minimum cost. Also, the profit, this is where it can be maximum. Because if, for example, say, it tries to produce at this point, yes, this isocost is more. For example, it may be 4,000. But yet, it is producing the same 5,000 units. So this means that here, the firm cannot maximize the profit. So you can see that the only maximum point at which the firm can maximize profit is where the isocost line is tangent to the isoquant. We go to the next and final curve. This one looks a bit complicated, but it is very simple. We have two isoquants. The other one has an output of 6,000 and the other one 3,500. And two isocost lines, which the first one has an expenditure of 1,000 units and the other one 2,000 units. So we will try to look at the first one. This one, the expenditure is 1,000. If the firm tries to purchase at this point, it will purchase, say, R units of capital and Q units of labor. Yet, it will spend 1,000 and produce 3,500 units. At point B, yes, it will say, here it was R, say M, and this is P. So it will purchase M units of capital and P units of labor and produce 6,000 units of output, but spending the same 1,000. So we can see here that at this point, this firm will maximize the profit because it will spend less and produce more. And the remaining points here, it will spend 1,000, produce 3,500. Here, it will spend 2,000 and produce 3,500. Here, it will spend 2,000 and produce 6,000. Here, it will spend the same 2,000 and produce 6,000. Here, it will spend 2,000 and produce 3,500. So, from this point, we can say that wherever the isocost is tangent to the isoquant, that point will be the profit maximizing point of a firm. So you can see that these two curves are very important for a firm producing some other kinds of goods, because they can help the firm to identify at which points of purchases of capital and labor they can maximize the profit and minimize the cost. I think you have gotten something from this topic, but I will explain it a bit into details later in the next videos. Thank you guys. Enjoy.